Good morning. Shabbat Shalom, boys and girls, family and friends. Rabbi Sandy and I would like to welcome you all to our home. And we have all been spending a lot of time at home during the past week. Well, at the entrance of many Jewish homes, there is a special symbol. It's the mezuzah. And the mezuzah contains a parchment in which are the words of the Shema, our most important prayer. Rabbi Sandy is going to be telling us this morning the story of the Shema and the mezuzah, read from her own book. Rabbi Sandy.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm so delighted to be here with you to read a very special book, the Shema in the mezuzah. Now, you all know the author, which I'm the one who wrote the book, but many of you may know the illustrator, the one who drew the pictures. That's Joni Rothenberg, and she is also from Indianapolis. So together, we created this story. So this is a story actually from a very long time ago, probably 900 years, where there was a very big argument about how we should put the mezuzah up on our doorposts. So here we go. Whoops, trying to figure this. There we go. I think you should draw the pictures. Annie's grandmother had just moved into her new home. Annie was glad all the boxes were unpacked. Now her grandmother would have time to bake her favorite chocolate chip cookies. Can we bake now? Annie said expectantly. Not just yet, her grandmother smiled. There is one more box to open. Annie's grandmother carefully opened a small package that Annie recognized right away. Well, that's a mezuzah. We have one on the doorpost of our home. Annie exclaimed, "My mom told me that inside is a special prayer, and on it are very important words, the words of the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Speak these words when you go out and when you come in, when you lie down and when you get up." Annie watched as her grandmother said a blessing and put up the mezuzah on her doorway. "Grandma, why doesn't the mezuzah stand up straight or lie down flat?" Annie said. "Why does the mezuzah look like it's leaning to one side? It's the same way at my home." Her grandmother smiled. "Let me tell you a story. Once there was a town where many people had mezuzahs, but no one knew how to put them up. Perhaps there are instructions inside the mezuzah, the townspeople thought. They looked at the special paper inside the mezuzah. It contained words from the Torah, but no instruction on how to put up the mezuzah. Half the people said, "We should put up the mezuzah standing up, since the words tell us to say the Shema when we get up in the morning." And half the people insisted the mezuzah should be lying down. The words tell us to say the Shema when we lie down at night. Neither side wanted to listen to the other. They just argued and kept shouting and shouting and shouting. One side screamed, "Standing up." The other side screamed, "Lying down." Perhaps you want to say those words with me from wherever you are. One side screamed, "Standing up." The other side scream, lying down. Standing up. Lying down. Uh-oh, it's going to get even louder. I wonder if you can get louder where you are. Standing up, lying down. The two sides yelled and yelled. They argued all through the day. They argued all through the night, whether they were standing up or lying down. Here they go, really loud. Look at those big mouths. And please join me. Standing up, lying down. What were the people to do? They decided to ask the rabbi of the town. The rabbi turned his head to one side and listened. The rabbi turned his head to the other side and listened. He turned to look at the buildings in the town. None of them had a mezuzah on the doorway. What are we to do? The townspeople asked the rabbi. Shall we put the mezuzah standing up or lying down? To the people who believed that the mezuzah should be standing up, the rabbi said, "You're right." To the people who believed that the mezuzah should be lying down, the rabbi said, "You are right." The townspeople were puzzled. "Rabbi, how can we be all right? We can't have the mezuzah standing up and lying down at the same time." The rabbi smiled. "You're right again." "Very funny, Rabbi," both sides agreed. But the rabbi wasn't laughing. "You haven't read the instructions very carefully. The first word on the mezuzah's paper is listen, Shema. Listen to one another. You must put the mezuzah on the doorway so that it is standing up a little and lying down a little. The people who wanted the mezuzah standing up listened to the people who wanted it lying down and said, "Well, if we slant the mezuzah, it will almost be standing up." And the people who wanted the mezuzah lying down listened to the people who wanted it standing up and said, "Well, if we slant the mezuzah, it will almost be lying down." Both sides liked the rabbi's idea. The people stopped shouting, they stopped arguing, they stopped yelling, they listened. They put up the mezuzahs. The people lived in many different kinds of homes, but they were one people. It's just like the Shema says, God is one. And that is how Annie's grandmother said it has been ever since. When we place the mezuzah on our doorway, it is not standing up and it is not lying down. It is leaning into our homes, just the way it should be. When we enter our home and we see the leaning mezuzah, we remember, she said softly, we stop shouting, we stop arguing, we stop yelling at each other, we listen, we are one. And that is the story of the Shema in the mezuzah. So I'm wondering, while you're spending a lot of time at home, whether you might make your own mezuzah. And I'm going to show you one that I made. So here is something like a mezuzah, which we can put a backing on, like an emery board, and we can put the scroll which you should be able to see in your comments right inside there. And then I'm thinking we should put this up on the room where we have the most arguments. So basically all this is a toothpaste holder. And then we covered it with paper and wrapping paper, or you can color it in or anything you want to do. And just leave the top open so you can put a scroll inside and then back it up with an emery board. And then you choose which room do you have the most arguments. Is it the kitchen? Is it the playroom? Is it in your bedroom? So when we're spending a lot of time at home, sometimes we can get into arguments. And if we see this mezuzah standing there leaning, we say, there's the mezuzah. We're going to have to compromise. We're going to have to decide how to live together without arguing all the time. And that's what I hope for you on this Shabbat and the week ahead. So I think we want to end our session by being able to say the Shema together. So in order to do that, we're not just going to say the words. We're also going to use hand motions. So follow me and copy me with how we say the Shema. So first, Shema, Shema, we hear, we listen. Yisrael, that is, we are one people all together. Shema, Yisrael, Adonai, that is God up above, that is all that's important, that's beyond us, and Eloheinu, that part of God that's inside each of us. So Shema, Yisrael, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Echad. We are one together. Even though we're in different homes, we are still all connected. So let me invite Rabbi Dennis to join me again, and we will sing the Shema together, first with hand motions, and then we won't say a word. We'll be really quiet, and we'll just use our hand motions and see how we are all connected. So Rabbi Dennis, let's join in singing the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Thank you all, and Shabbat Shalom. And now Rabbi Dennis has an announcement of what's next this evening.
Thank you, Rabbi Sandy, for the story of the Shema and the mezuzah. Earlier today, you were able to listen to Rabbi Jenny teaching us Torah, Cantor Melissa chanting from this week's special Torah readings and Haftarah. And we hope that you will come back and join all four of us tonight for a virtual Havdalah. We'll come together at 6 o'clock as we say Shalom to this Shabbat and enter the next week, making good wishes for one another, for the people Israel, for our nation, and for the whole world. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.